They say hunting and fishing can be dated back more than 2 million years. Throughout the years, the historic angler and hunter has steadily evolved into the avid hunter and angler that we know and love today. Welcome to the Outdoor Defiance podcast. As you listen, you will hear comical stories, companies talking about their products, researchers talking about their research, and overall ways to help you become a better outdoorsman. Welcome to today's episode.
If you guys are tuning in, this will be, I think, 49? If I remember right. Yeah, episode 49. So, hey, we'll have our 50th episode after this one. But this will be episode 49. This week, we're going to talk about like hunting tactics that we do, things that we might not be news to everyone, but maybe help someone. Also looking for people to tell us in the comments what they do and kind of celebrate one day closer to deer season. So, but I'm going to mute myself real quick and move my mic down because it's obnoxiously in the video. All right. So, where do you want to start at first?
Doesn't matter to me. Really.
Are you you said you're going New Mexico August to scout?
Possibly. We might be doing, I might have to move it an extra week and it might work out. Because so in the state of New Mexico, you can't go on any of the state land until 14 days before your hunt.
Really?
Yeah. So
cool.
I can get on, and I can go walk around the grasslands and stuff.
Yeah.
But I may go a weekend where I can just do like 2 straight hard nose days of driving around a bunch and then walking, scouting a couple of the bigger pieces. I've got a couple pieces that I like a lot more than others, and those will be the ones maybe I'll try to get to at daylight or at last light to scout.
Yeah.
And the other ones I can drive around and just kind of put my eyes on them, and stuff like that. So that's kind of the plan for that deal. But but yeah.
You'll be down there end of September, right?
Yeah, the season's the 27th through the 3rd. Dad has to be back October 1st, so we're gonna hunt until October 1st. And then we're gonna come back.
Say that again. How many days? I'm sorry, I was.
So September 27th is the first day of the season, and it ends on a Friday of October 3rd.
Okay.
So and we'll
9 days.
No, like 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th.
Oh, 27th. I heard 22nd.
No. Yeah, 27th. Yeah. It'll be 4 or 5 days depending on if he has to be back. I think we'll probably come home the night of the 30th. So 4 days of hunting.
Right. Is that rifle or is that muzzleloader?
Muzzleloader iron sights. It'll be interesting. I've researched a lot of it. And this time of year, it's kind of what I do anyway. Is I'm watching a lot of videos. I'm like, I watch hunting, but the hunting videos that I watch is a lot of stuff like I want to see how someone else did it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I want to see how someone else might have approached hunting that terrain or hunting something specific in that time. So that's a lot of this time of year for me is I'm typing in a lot of New Mexico, muzzleloader, mule deer, high desert, stuff like that. Just
so is that where you'll be, high desert?
It's going to be a lot of plateau, canyon breaks in the plateaus, and then there's like the flats and bottomlands in between them. So we're going to be kind of, if anybody's been through, it looks a lot like Clayton, New Mexico. Anybody's been through Clayton, like that, and then kind of you see in the distance those mesa plateau breaks in through there. That's kind of what it's going to be like. Yeah.
Hmm.
So Yeah.
That'd be neat.
Yeah, my goal is to see. I want Dad to shoot one pretty bad because he's always every time we've went on one of these trips, he's like, "You're on the gun first." Well, he doesn't know it yet, but
He's on the gun first.
he's on the gun first, and I'm gonna try to. I'm not gonna try because if he's on the gun first, I'll be on the camera, so we'll get it if he's on the gun first. So that's what we're gonna do.
So we have a couple comments already coming in from our man Zach. I know he'd be on here talking about New Mexico because he's headed up to elk hunt, and he said evening fellas, and then said New Mexico is right around the corner. So evening, Zach. It's nice to see you again, buddy.
He's sweating bullets also because Texas goes to the shoe game 1 of the year. So let's see if they can, if Arch Manning is the real deal or not, huh, Zach?
OU has a lot to prove this year.
I think they're going to be good. They just have such a terrible schedule. They might win 8 games. They might be really good, but they might win 7 or 8 games. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So
they're a different breed than what my boys are.
Well, yeah. Well, Arch for president of UT. If he goes into Columbus and wins, I'll be a believer. And he looks good. If he looks bad, I guess it's his first start ever. Like, not really, but first big time start ever on the road. So I mean, if he looks shaky, we'll see how he progresses. But if he goes out and dominates, yeah, I'll be a believer. So we'll see.
So Kyle couldn't join us tonight. He's actually in Canada on a backcountry fishing trip they go every year. So when he gets back, we're gonna get him on and talk about his trip. Cool thing he's gonna do is go put out trail cams. They go every year. It's like a lease. I want to say 100-year lease that all of his family's on. But I mean, they have to take a float plane back there, and I forget how long the flight, but I want to say like 4 or 5 hours. And then he's taking trail cameras, going to put them up and leave them for a year, and then we're going to do a video when he goes back next year, and going to pull the pictures and do a video of like all the pictures that are there. Excuse me. So I know they've seen bears, moose. So yeah, pretty crazy deal. He showed me on Onyx one time where it was, and I was like, holy cow, there's like hundreds of lakes, and they have like 4 or 5 of them. So
Must be nice.
So the Cade Ring on Instagram said, "Why don't you have a paddleboard, Gunner?"
He called me like 5 minutes before this podcast because he wants to deck out his paddleboard to fly fish off of because he lives in Branson now. So like he
I
fishes
did not know that.
Taneycomo.
That's cool. Yeah,
he works on one of those golf courses up there, but he lives in Branson, so he fishes Taneycomo all the time. And so he was wanting to deck out a paddleboard to fly fish off of. So
that'd be cool, but I don't have the balance. I would fall. I feel like.
Yeah, I said I had to stand on top of a kayak he could try, but he wasn't interested. So he's a he's a paddleboard guy now. So
that would be a little sketchy on my end.
that place is big too.
Yeah,
it's big. You get lost back in there. So
some big fish there though.
He says he thinks he's got it a little bit figured out. He doesn't do a whole lot of streamer. He does a lot of nymphing. He's figured out how to catch them nymphing, which, streamer fishing is what it is. But me and you, that's kind of mostly what we do is nymph and dry fly. So, I mean, it's nice to know that stuff works up there, I guess. So
I think we talked about this last podcast. We did a live. Really nothing. I was trying to think if anything's really changed for me. Is anything changing for you as season prep from last time we talked about it?
No, not really. I'm going to go to Kansas at some point too to look at stuff, maybe with you. So we'll see what we can do there. I really just, since we haven't hunted it before, I just, which we can go up there and figure it out faster than a lot of people can, but I'd love to, if I can, at least see it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, just
Yeah. Don't
see
go
what
in
stuff,
blind.
just see what stuff looks like. You know, just kind of how I think I have an idea because I've done a lot of aerial stuff with
Mhm.
it. I think I have a pretty good idea. Which my kind of what I'm looking for is going to be probably totally different the way you're looking for because
Yeah.
you're.
It was
I,
last year.
I'm looking for like kind of what I was looking for is big draw systems that kind of maybe run up into wheat fields. That's kind of what I was looking because there's quite a bit of ag in this area
Yeah.
in the areas that we're in. The one that we share, that unit has quite a bit of ag in it. It seems like, and so that's kind of what I was looking for. I turned that crop layer on, and I was looking for big draw systems that maybe run in or out of like a wheat field or something like that. And then I
Mhm.
kind of marked places that I marked them purple and I marked them like as wild cards, like maybe a
Yeah.
little piece right outside of a little like town that's
Yeah.
big, but maybe it gets overlooked and maybe some town deer comes walking, you know, just that's the kind of stuff I marked this time. So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah. It's funny you said that because Zach and me actually were talking earlier today, and um, someone made a really good post on Instagram. Don't let me forget to comment that. I split screen tonight, so we don't miss any Instagram comments. But that's what I was telling Zach is I've marked everything in 3 different colors. You know, one for what I think what looks best, and then like a
Mhm.
good, and then decent. And
Mhm.
that's kind of some of the stuff that I'm like, man, I wonder if anyone's overlooking that. The only thing
Yeah.
I'm kind of worried about is the unit we're going to that we share is within 60 miles of a major city up there.
Yeah.
So, but there's a lot of ground, but it just kind of makes me a little nervous because I'm like, did they try to get more ground up there because there's so many people, or? But on the flip side, it's equivalent to what we did last year, and I didn't have an issue. You had a more of an issue during rifle, but I didn't have big of an issue when I was up there. Um, Bow Hunter Nate on Instagram, he said, "Wait for the next big rain and go a day or two after. Those travel those travel trails will stand out." Yeah, that's a good idea. The only thing that, I mean, I guess, even if you waited, up to the weekend, if it rained on a Tuesday, you should still be able to see the routes they're using. But there's a
I
chance
mean, that's
that we
nice to
can miss
think
the
about.
way. Yeah,
Yeah. That is a nice little tip, honestly.
it's kind of funny because I use it here on certain places, but I never really thought about that when to go scout.
Yeah, I mean, the back of my mind, you think about that stuff, but it's kind of at the front of my mind now. I mean, it makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense, honestly.
So
So,
yeah, it's
which, yeah, but
my deal is how do you look at so much ground, and without going up there for multiple days? You know what I mean? Like
oh, yeah, yeah. Don't
realistically, that
know.
ground that we're in uh needs like a good week
Oh,
to
yeah,
really
and
look into
yeah,
it.
and my kind of thinking on that, I think the same way you do. Like, how am I supposed to cover all this? My thinking was making those marks, is I was going to try to check
Yeah.
a couple wild cards and just like look at my best stuff, like, and then if my frame of thought, like the first, I don't know, 5 or 10 I go look at, if my frame of thought's just completely off, maybe pivot my plan, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. But that's kind of how I thought about going into it. But yeah, I'm thinking the same thing you are. How am I supposed to cover all this stuff?
Yeah, I kind of thought about, well, I'm going to camp this year. That was kind of my thought. You start looking, and I know everyone's in back, well, there's free places, but I'm going to have Wi-Fi to be able to do what I'm doing. So it's like I was going to look at campsites. Well, campsites with electric, so I could take a portable Wi-Fi unit with me. We're still like $30 to $40 a night. And I was like, my thought with camping is I could, if I'm in this area, not see anything. So I found a town that's pretty centralized that has a hotel, and I still think I'm gonna take my tent, and then that way, if say I find a place on a Friday and it's an hour and a half away, that evening if I'm there, I already have my grill with me. I can just stay there. But
Mm.
I was trying to think of ways to be mobile and kind of cheapen up the trip. But man, it's really hard to when campsites are 30 to 40, and you can find a deal on Expedia and all that for $42, and you have a bed, a shower, Wi-Fi. It's like, golly. So
Well,
I'm definitely
Dad's
going to
gotten
go
to
up
that
there.
point.
What?
Dad's gotten to that point too, where he's just like,
Yeah.
he's like, well, I'm gonna pay this much for this. Might as well have a shower or something. That's kind of
Yeah.
some of it. Like, well, that toy hauler we got, we'll still pull on stuff, and we'll maybe pull it to Colorado some, but like South Dakota and stuff, not anymore. We found that little cheap hotel. He loved it.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's like, I mean, and a deal with that, like usually if they're a cheap hotel, they're kind of like someone's coming through, jumping on, or staying there just for the night because they're coming down the highway and leaving. So it's not really, if you book it for 4 days and then you're like, all right, I need to stay another 4. What I mean? You don't have to tie yourself down either at that spot. So that's kind of how I was looking at that. There's a lot of what helps up there is a lot of main highways and a lot of big cities with colleges in it. So there's a lot of good deals because they got to compete that time of year because football's not going on. The major sports or activities are bringing people. So it's what we did in Kansas, and it worked out.
Mhm.
Which last year, I went Tuesday through Sunday and shot a deer Friday night or something like that. But this year I'm gonna try to put in. I have 13 days to try to put in every little bit I can to try to go up from my last year's harvest. So, and I think,
hope you can.
yeah, I think we're in units that have it. I think last year there's definitely big deer. We saw them, but they were few and far between.
Yeah.
So, which saying that, people are like, well, big deer are few and far between, anyways. Yes, you're right, but our unit, the 2 units we were in last year, were hit by CWD and the freeze way out on the western side. So the numbers were down. But luckily, going back on the Onyx thing, luckily last year, my number one spot, we pulled up to it that morning and saw deer like the first morning. So we were like, all right, we can go look at other places. And if it doesn't look good, we can always come back here. And that's kind of what we did. We made that like our centralized area. And then kind of like would go look at other places if we didn't see what we wanted. And if it's 2 hours away, would hurry and get back before the evening hunt. So
Was it hot last year there? I remember you saying it one day, a couple days it might have been, but like how
yeah,
hot was it?
I don't remember the exact temperature. Um, I know it got 90s one day,
Yeah, that sucks. But
high 90s. But what helped us was water. So
yeah, I almost think I'd love to do the hunt you did. It kind of sucks because of the warmth, and it's different the way you had to hunt than what we had to hunt because it's just the time of year can't be any more different, really. But it seemed like it'd be fun to hunt that early season.
yeah, I like it because it gives me it's an out of state hunt first, so it gets me out of Oklahoma, and then I have my days. If you once I learn a unit, I'll start putting in for archery, but um, I have my days set, so I know when I need to be there and when I can be there. And after that, I can turn around and focus on Oklahoma because I get back and the first is right here. So that's what I really like about it. That's kind of like why I like the concept of hunting elk or mule deer because you can get those September, even August tags, and it's like lets me get back and really focus on here.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a cough again. Don't know what's going on tonight. So we have a couple comments real quick. I want to stay caught up so we don't get behind like last time. Zach Gajowski said, Gunner, are you going to put cameras out when you go scout New Mexico?
Probably not. Assuming probably not. I had the privilege of working in my unit a lot. in college. So I kind of know the unit pretty well because I worked on those grasslands out there. And I know people that were just there. I have pretty good intel and I know where I'm starting. And so, yeah. And there's not really a whole lot of places I could put a trail camera. If there's not there's like little scrub oak looking things, but they're like as tall as me.
Yeah.
Some of them, and there's just not it's going to be more of a grasslands, scrub oak, deserty look to it. So, I mean, I may bring one just to have it in case I want to put one out. I hadn't really crossed my mind. I didn't know if it was legal or not. I'm sure it is since you're asking me about it. But
He's tricking you.
Yeah, that's what I was.
You.
He's testing me to see if I know the rigs or not. I was gonna say yes. He's gonna be like, "You see this guy?"
Yeah.
Quit joking. But
our boy Jamie said, "What's up, boys?" Jamie, it's nice to see you.
Getting ready for an elk hunt.
Yeah, and I saw the big O post about the baby. Congrats on that. Growing the team, one little kid at a time.
Yeah.
And then Zach Gaskey said, "Are y'all truck camping? I feel like 3 days in ours. I'm gonna want to shower." Yeah. If you're talking to me in Kansas, no, it's gonna be hot. I'm not gonna share a tent with the guys in 90-degree weather. So I might nights, but
you and Doe Pickle hanging out.
Maybe. Might be me. I might be solo. So be up there all by myself, going after the state record. So
if it was next year, I'd be taking off the whole time with you.
That's all right. It's cool.
I drew everything, and I didn't think I would. So it's like, it sucks, but it doesn't. I mean, like I wish I could hang out with you and go on this hunt bad. I do.
I think there's a few people coming up there like on a Thursday, not working Friday. You staying.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll have people there on the weekend, but I think during the week, especially the first week, I'll probably be out there by myself, and I really hope I get it done. I really want that challenge to be able to shoot one and have to get it out myself. I think that'd be fun.
You gonna bring a pack? Like you gonna try to drag him, or you gonna just quarter him?
I don't know. Last year we took my little dolly deal, but
if you want a pack, you can. I've got it like a 3-day Cabela's brace pack if you want it.
So I have a pack. I didn't know I really had it. I bought it in a bundle for duck hunting stuff, and it's like made to haul in like a few dozen decoys, and it's a frame system, and it looks just like a pack, but it's a little older. But the straps on are really nice. So, I mean, I have that too, but I don't know. We'll see. I have a couple buddies here too that, because wouldn't that interfere with your season in New Mexico? Yeah.
The back end of your hunt, yeah. Because yours starts like the 15th.
15th through 28th.
Yeah. I'm leaving the 26th of September.
Yeah, so that I'd have to get it done and get back. I don't want that pressure. But
maybe you'll shoot one and Dad and I will double up, and we'll have a heck of a 2 weeks.
There, I'm shooting something. Something will be down.
We can shoot a whitetail. Our tag is any deer.
Really?
Antlered deer. Yeah. I know where the whitetails are, but we're not. He's gonna have to be.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to be a stud for me to want to pull the trigger.
Just
because of what we're doing,
Yeah.
Like if he's a stud whitetail, I'll kill him. Don't put it past me. But he's gonna. I'm not this hunt anyway. I'm not gonna switch to whitetails unless he's big. But
well, I have a doe and a buck tag, so I will say that doe and buck that I brought back last year that were coming off the ag fields. The what was that? I guess the doe came off mainly a cornfield, with Milo across the street, and that buck was going to Milo every night. But some of the best eating venison I've ever had. Like, it's gone, and I've never completely ate 2 deer in a year, pretty much by myself, and it's so good. Just, I mean, the layer of fat on them too. It had 2 inches of fat, so it was really good. So I'm ready. I'm ready to go out there and shoot another doe just for that. She might not even make it home, but other than that, Oklahoma, I'll be putting out my cameras, my first set of cameras in the next week or two. Have really good intel about some deer in our area. And then last year, what we passed, we should have a couple decent ones. So yeah, but
you were the one that had the biggest deer in Pawnee last year, like between the both of us.
Yeah.
By far. Yeah. And he really didn't. I never saw him really. Maybe once the last couple years, and he was like, what? Was he the one that broke? Did he break off?
Last year?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
I have.
Never mind. I'm not going to say that on here.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. We had 6 or 7, and then 4 got shot, and then a 5th one I shot. I don't know. He still could be alive. Everyone's telling me he's alive, but I don't know. I don't have a good feeling. But if he shows up, what a story that would be. That's gonna be something cool. If I don't harvest that one or don't see him by rut, I'm gonna post the video of last year of going through the motions of pretty much giving up for a little bit, and then bringing out the drone, bringing out the dog, walking out everything, going through the motions, and going back to public land just to break away and sit away from what we do. And I don't know, it'd be a cool episode to kind of see everything. I was kind of looking back on it, and I don't even have to play the shot video. I have it in my head, but everything else is just cool to see the raw emotion of like getting excited, having you guys show up, and then it just goes downhill, and then it picks back up, and then it goes downhill, and then all of a sudden I'm like, you know what? I'm going back to where it all started. So it's pretty cool. I hope what a story it'd be if he showed up. You know, that would be, even if someone else got him, like, I don't care. So, Zach just asked, do y'all think the out-of-stater numbers will be down this year? They were last year, but the people that have leases and that come up here and pay a lot of money, that little bit of jump in cost is not going to stop them. And that's the people I want to see in our woods. So
I think it'll probably be kind of similar. Maybe, I don't see it. I might be completely wrong. It may fluctuate one way or the other, but there's a lot of hate coming from your side of the border, Zach.
Yeah.
But I will say this:
learn how to grow the deer over there.
Well, the thing they're saying now is they're going to charge $1,200 for us to go bass fish over there, which economically doesn't make any sense because what we don't charge. Our fishing, the fish here is not like, you know what I mean, like the equivalence there. But
yeah,
it's okay.
I didn't hear that one. That's wild.
I saw a guy on there like, well, don't be mad when we charge you $1,200 to come fish our lakes. Well, we charge you like what, $80 to fish our lakes? Come on, guy.
Yeah.
Like, charge the same, up your deer tags and be like, okay, we deserve that. But like,
we don't ever go over there and hunt. There's a reason why they come here. I'm not being rude. It's just, it's hard to get land over there. It's super expensive, which we're seeing here now. But I feel like overall quality, and I know there's some people come at that comment, the overall quality, I feel like we have more big deer, but their big deer there are like in those centralized units of someone owns thousands of acres that you're never going to get on. So
we got bigger bodied deer.
Yeah. Now they got giants. Don't get me wrong. If anyone's listening and think I said that like that, no, Texas absolutely has giants.
was hoping to fire
Zach
Zach
said,
up.
"Hey, y'all got one less this year. Also, we don't have the nutrition and minerals over here." What do you mean one less?
I guess, is Zach not coming?
Yeah, Zach, are you not hunting over here anymore? Also, we don't have the nutrition minerals. Yeah, absolutely. That's just like the step from Oklahoma to your Ohio, Kansas, and Iowa deer. I mean, the nutrition level they have there and the quality they have there is a little bit better, but it's also a little bit more cost to go up there. So
I've
that's
got
what I
points
think.
in
I
Iowa.
could be wrong. What?
I've got points in Iowa.
Yeah,
It
but
takes 7 years to
I know
go
they
on
got
it.
good. I know they have better nutrition, but man, the way Iowa has it for deer hunting, that's why it's also a big deer state. I mean, they have it where it's going to last.
What
You're
do you
never
mean,
going to have
like the
like
tags and stuff? Like
yeah,
how they, yeah.
like they're going to have big deer this year, and in 20 years they're going to have big deer. You know what I mean? We're gonna like the states that are opening their floodgates are like it's gonna hurt after that 20-year mark.
Well, if we wouldn't have went up on our tag prices, if we would have just done like a draw system, I would have been really okay with that. I mean, we needed to go up a little bit, you know, just to be economically, like everyone else, really.
Yeah,
But I think going to that non-resident draw thing, I understand the economics. We want more money and that kind of thing and whatever, but I wouldn't have minded if they went to a non-resident draw thing. It's similar to something like maybe Kansas has, draw at
yeah,
least every other year. I mean, you can't be mad about that, really, honestly.
yeah. But on the flip side, we hadn't had an increase in tags in almost 20 years.
Oh, I know that. It's not. I'm not.
There's not. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know you know that, but I'm like, what in 20 years hasn't gone up?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, go buy a drink at a restaurant when it's $4 to $5 at certain places. When I was a kid, it was $1. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
We hear our grandparents talk about buying a piece of gum for a penny. We can't buy a pack for, I don't know. I haven't bought gum in forever, but it's probably what, $5, $6, $7 maybe
Yeah.
four. I don't
I
know.
bet it's 4 to 5. I bet it's 4 to 5.
So I'm
Then you
like,
get the Bubblicious double. It's probably 6 or 7, right? So,
if you
whatever.
save the juicy fruits, probably it's still
Yeah,
probably 75 cents. But if you upgrade,
yeah. So, yeah.
oh, that's great. Zach said he's not on the lease this year.
Oh, dang
Good.
it.
That's what I wanted. I wanted you out of here, Zach. Killing all the big deer,
Yeah.
taking them back on the other side of the Red River, posting pictures with them.
Just like that guy
Yeah, that's
over
what
in
Zach's gonna
Georgia.
do. He's gonna shoot a deer this year here and drive to Texas.
Yeah.
Zach said Oklahoma was a sleeper state and it's not anymore. Yeah, I agree. But also, what state's not a sleeper state anymore? I mean, Kentucky was exposed in the last couple of years. Ohio has been exposed in the last 5 to 10 years. I mean, what
Was a
state
sleeper
really
state.
hasn't been? Even like Arkansas in the areas has been exposed. So I think a lot of people. This is my take on this. I could be wrong, but I think a lot of people are learning that they have the genetics, but they didn't have the nutrition. And once you get the nutrition and the genetics, they're seeing what everyone's seeing. And you're having a lot of hunters passing deer. So that's my 2 cents. Why all these states are getting exposed. So, yeah, I don't know. I also feel like Oklahoma's like still underestimated.
Yeah.
But this is kind of cool. Something that I thought of. We've done 2 podcasts. Well, you didn't get to be on the Dallas one, but Dallas and then Cody. We did the podcast with them, you know, they both talked about, knowing where their deer were bedding, or a general idea. And, and we hear that, and they talk strictly about bedding for a while. And if you're not hunting bedding, what Cody said, 80% or 70% of the time.
Cody hunts. Yeah, he hunts bedding. He even when I asked him about food, he was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
like he's all about bedding."
Yeah, but I'm saying a cool concept on that. It's like that I was thinking. I was like, I wonder how much bedding I target. Then I was like, my biggest deer don't even bet on me. That I don't know if they do. I would almost bet they don't. And it's
Yeah.
crazy to hear, you see all these other states that have limited cover, and it's really easy to target, where even Josh Bomar talks about it on his episodes, talking about betting and knowing right where they are and all that. Like, I've never been able to pinpoint a deer in Oklahoma. So it's like, it's cool to hear them talk about betting like they do. And then it's like, man, I don't even know if my deer bet on me. They might be betting on a mile down and working over to me to eat, and I've never been able to literally pinpoint a deer's betting, which if you look at the lab, what is MSU? Did I say that right? Is it
Probably.
MSU Deer Lab? No, it's
Are you talking about the one where they showed that one buck had like so many different bedding spots and
yeah.
showed his area? Yeah, I saw that the other day too.
And he had, I forget how many beds, but
Yeah,
it's like
a lot.
that's like how what we have to hunt. You know what I mean? Like, our deer aren't going to have 2 or 3 areas. They're going to be covering a mile where we are. But if you go up to the open ag land and there's limited cover, it's like, man, I could see that a little bit easier or mountains. You know what I mean? That more areas to pinpoint where they have to bed to watch for predators and all that. It's like, it's just crazy to think, hearing those podcasts and then that we did, and then thinking about how I hunt. And I'm like, man, I don't really hunt like that.
Yeah.
Which everyone's like, what do you mean? So, Robert Bass Clark posted, "Let's go. I'm ready. We have had pretty good water this year. Food has been rich for the deer. I think we'll see some very good deer this year. I get excited the day I start planting wheat. I wish everyone the best this season." So, yeah, we've had a great amount of rain, but I'm nervous that we're not going to get enough to, put our food plots in and really start working up our ground in this August, September part.
Yeah.
I hope we do, because I mean, the deer have had everything they've needed. You know what I mean?
It might be a year where, we get a couple deer that really max out their potential they could have had this year. This is kind of a perfect storm for a deer that might have not have reached his max the last couple years. This year he might, just get I don't know, something to think about, because we have a ton of groceries this year.
Well, that, and like even my mineral spots have not been hit like they normally are. So that's showing me that the deer know that they don't need it. And it's like, that's good to see, because I really think, I think we're in a year to see some really big deer in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I mean, everywhere. Kansas had the rain. I mean, we've heard about flooding everywhere. Texas, Kansas, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Kentucky. That's just, I think the groceries this year are going to be full. And then on the flip side of that, if we hunt around water, which one of my spots is along, by the river, it's been up and it's about to go down. So where that water's been flooding, all that new growth, it's going to carry them over into the fall. They have everything. We might see one of the healthiest herds, unless the ticks and all the mites took over them. But
yeah.
Jacob just joined on Instagram.
Who?
Jacob Walls.
Jake Walls. So Jake, he told me he's going to comment today, so we'll see if he does.
He said, "Gang, gang."
Yeah, that's what he said he was going to do.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I totally was like, what did we end with? Kind of talking about how we hunt. I think it'd be kind of cool to talk about how and why, and kind of. I think we've done this before, but we've also gained a lot of followers from the first time we talked about this. But kind of how and why. What do you look for? How do you hunt it, and why do you hunt it like that?
Yeah.
So, do you want to start?
Sure. Well, so I love to hunt in between stuff like travel. It seems like you do as well, but we kind of hunt savanna pasture type land, uh, e- especially in like the area that we hunt close to each other. Um, and I like to find food where I think they might be bedding. Just look for like old scrapes or rubs and just kind of get an idea of where stuff is. Like take like an inventory. And I love to hunt in between stuff like travel corridors. I'm figuring out, well, I think he's hitting this food source. I think he might be bedding over here. Let me set up in between him. Because sometimes I feel like, hunting over food's great. You can kill a lot of deer doing it. Sometimes those deer that come out just too late or leave too early, you can catch staging up or in between. That's just kind of one of my favorite things to do is to hunt travel, just in between stuff. And then obviously different times of year that can change. Like late season, I'm looking for, groceries that they might be eating because they're going to start looking for food to re-up on their nutrients after that tough rut time. And of course, the rut's just wide open. Look for the
Yeah,
does, look for other things. That's super fun. Early season, it seems like water becomes a big deal because it gets so hot here. Um, Understanding where water is, maybe also bedding there, but food can be a big deal there too. But one of my favorite things to do is hunt in between stuff, like trying to catch them, staging up before they get to something, if that makes sense.
yeah, yeah. That's. I mean, like you said, we pretty much do that. Another thing I like to, I've kind of a background is I've always lived like what, one spot 10 minutes away, other spot
Hmm.
30 minutes. And now since I moved away, got an hour and a half, it's like I start looking at when the deer's getting there, what brought them in, what wind, start really dialing in on stuff like that. Um, and I start focusing on, so I'm saying this with, I have limited time to hunt, right? So if I know he's been going to be in there 2 to 3 days a week and he's been gone for 2 days, that third day, you bet I'm going to be in there, and I don't care what I have to do to get in there. So I'm really focused on when he's going to be in there, which way he's coming from, what he's waiting on, and I try to figure out, line up some things. And if I think it's this, and I go in there and don't see him, all right, maybe he just wasn't here. Maybe he was at the neighbors, and so I'll back off. I really like the travel corridors. One spot I have is real unique because a lot of you guys see it in the videos. It's a food plot, but it's literally in the center of almost every main travel corridor out there where I hunt. So yeah, I don't touch the backside of that property, and it's pretty big property. But in my opinion, I'm like, why am I going to go pushing there when everyone else around me is pushing their spot? Let him have a place to kind of hide, and then I'll catch him when he wants to come out to the edge. So I like travel corridors kind of on the edge. So like your main veins, your main arteries, I guess, if you want to talk about like a body, that's what I like to look for. Bowhunter Nate on Instagram is saying travel corridors are in my opinion the best non-invasive way to get on them without pressuring, easier in and out without getting busted. Absolutely, and that's pretty much what I was saying. Another thing with that is, yeah, I know my areas I'm going to hunt. You guys have to, and he just said it at the end, easier in and out without getting busted. You guys got to find how to get into areas. I think a lot of people are um, not really paying attention to that. And I'm saying that because I learned the hard way. I used the same trail for the last 4 years, 5 years on this property. And it was like, all right, this buck was in here for 4 days this week. I've hunted for 6 days and haven't seen him. What's going on? And then the 7th day, he was in there. Well, I found out you can't tell, by walking in or looking at the map, but there's one point of the property that when I crested to go down in that draw, like you could easily from down in that draw see right where I was walking through. Nowhere else. It was like a perfect 3-foot little section between 2 cedar trees you could see. And as soon as I moved away from going to that route and like went down to where the deer are and really started looking at the layout and took this other route where there's no way they could see me, it's like I really started seeing my mature deer more. So that's something to think about. And everyone's like, yeah, you should think about that earlier. But heck, I was in high school. So, I want to be in the woods every day, every second I could. If I had to run late to school, I was going to do it. So it's like now, since I'm limited and have to make sure everything's lining up. And uh, another good podcast about that is with Chris Hammonds talking about how he accessed for that deer using that creek, and so that was really access too. So if you can hunt travel corridors and have great access, I think that's what I look for.
I think there's you can have a couple different setups. You can have your high stress setups where like you're getting in them. You know what I mean? Maybe something you don't hunt every day.
Yeah.
Maybe you know what I mean? Like I'm getting I have a setup that's real close to where I think some of them bed, and it's real good staging area, and you kind of have those high risk, high reward places, and you can have those travel corridor places where you get in and out.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. That we kind of have stuff set up, and you do too, like that. There's like your place. You're like, and you have a setup where you can take something down and put it up in a different area pretty easily.
Yeah.
You've sent me a text before and been like, I'm taking this down. I'm getting over there. Like I'm taking a risk tonight. Stuff like that can work as well. So
yeah, and that's stuff. That's tools. Like we've talked about this a lot too. Having tools. A lot of people are using stuff as the main, like their main tool, and it's like, and they're not using everything in their tool shed. They're just like, oh, I'm gonna use this hammer. I'm gonna hammer and some screws. I'm gonna do this with that. I mean? It's like when you have all these tools available, it's like, yeah, if you have a portable setup, that's great. And you can do that, but don't be doing it, or especially early season hunting. I've changed my complete aspect and outlook on that. But during rut, man, if you're seeing something in the morning in a certain area, yeah, I'll hands down, I'll take down what I have if I don't have anything with me and go move there midday. And hasn't really worked in my favor to get something down, but it has put me in areas that I have seen stuff and had deer almost walk in. Then I'm like, all right, I got to focus here because I didn't know that was here until I saw them, in that area. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely, like I said, early season, I wouldn't pressure it that hard, but rut, and if you're counting down your days in late season, definitely try that stuff. But I don't really use that until I think the bucks are on their feet moving, looking for does or looking for the areas to kind of start off rut in. That's something else that's easier. It's like, it's kind of hard for people like us because we have a square boundary, and it's like everyone around us is hunting. And so it's just hearing about bedding, we can't do that as much because we have half mile by half mile. So, Zach, I'm going to read that here in a second. Spencer Gaydon, what's up, buddy? He said, what are you men doing for property improvement for deer and other wildlife? So, over the years, we've done abundance of stuff. I had kind of question came out of the blue, so I'd have to kind of get my list. I know we burn, the first year we got that place, or one of our main places, we burned it every year and got it to where a lot of native grasses in there, so cover for quail, nesting for the turkeys. And then now we do like a every 2 year to 3 year burn. Just when we think it needs it for, weed control, thickets, anything like that we need to take out, we burn and then spray. So that's kind of for the, like I said, the quail and turkeys. Do a lot of trapping for the birds too. And then in areas that were with like lots of cedar trees and I'm trying to think, what are the locusts? There it is, right?
And
They're the
look at
big,
black locust.
yeah, areas that had the black locust and cedar trees. We took that out, and then we made sure we got a good kill on them, and then went back through and planted oak trees. Once again, that could be for deer, it could be for turkeys, good roosting place, anything like that. Man, I'm like losing it on this question. So I'm gonna
Well,
let you answer, and then I'm gonna regain my thoughts and get back to it.
so we burn areas that we think they bed in a whole lot. We burn a little less just to keep it a little thicker. You still need to burn it, and that's more like thicker, as in like grasses and stuff, and it regenerates at a different rate. So like if you can try different things like burning one patch every 3 years, burning one every 4, burning one every 2. Just you can play with it and just see what it does to your property. That's one thing. I would say making sure your canopy cover for your trees isn't just so thick and tight that you can't walk through it. Um, that sunlight coming to the floor to create more groceries is a great thing. We have someone that comes in. He cuts up firewood stuff, and he likes burning, so we let him come in and cut some trees every year, and that helps with that. And then we also, come back in and burn after that. That's one thing. Like Taylor said, you can trap and do different things.
Yeah,
Coyote control. You can
focus
try
on
to
the
give
invasive
them,
species.
yeah, like
You know,
Sericea lesbidiza is high in tannins. It can take over and
Johnson
monoculture your
grass.
place. Yeah, I will say Johnson grass is obviously it's invasive, so it's bad. But those deer, for some reason, those deer in Kansas use it like crazy.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. It's a good cover, but in
They
our
use it
area,
to
people don't
travel.
want it because there's no nutritional value.
Yeah,
And
and
the thing
yeah, it'll
we,
create a monoculture. So
yeah, we look at blackberries. If they're getting out of hand, definitely knock them back. Um,
and you have to spray those. You can't burn them or cut them
yeah,
down. They will.
yeah, but
If you brush hog them, they will come back madder than a fire ant.
yeah, but if you spray them, let them die, then brush hog them,
Yeah, yeah,
those stems burn up fast. We
yeah,
like a limited supply on that just for the blackberries for ourselves, and then a good cover crop for the rabbits. You don't want
yeah,
too many rabbits, but having a little bit of cover for them doesn't help. Um, Definitely looking at browse. So if they're eating the more hardy stuff, then you're not supplying enough food. So upping the years that you're um, during the years that you notice that a lot of the browse they're hitting um, the thorns or this random stuff is getting hit harder. That's the year we'll come in, and this is basically for deer. We'll come in and actually mineral more, give them a lot more, because there's certain things, man, I can't, my mind is gone on this, but there's certain things that they like but they don't love. And if you see that area really hit, then it's like, all right, there's not enough nutrition here. What do I need to do?
hmm
And going back to burning is a great nutritional value early spring. A lot of people get confused. The most nutritional is the new sprouts. It's not the grass that we're looking at now. So trying to think what else we've done.
Well, there's also stuff you can do naturally, like if you don't want to put in food plots and stuff. Kip does
Yeah.
forb plots where you just kind of break up the soil, and that those forbs and early successional species come up, and those deer eat those, especially in the summer. That's something you can do if you just want to break it up and introduce more of those species. And then, everyone's going to have different goals on their
Yeah.
place. So it kind of really depends what you're trying to do. I would say making sure that you have, good bedding and cover. If you're trying to create a full spectrum, good bedding and cover. In the places that aren't bedding and cover, make sure the trees aren't just choking you out, to where
Yeah.
something can't walk through there. Because deer are kind of like people. Sometimes they'll take easier, routes to places. And then food and water and the safety part and stuff comes from the bedding and the cover. Those are kind of you know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
those are kind of the things to think about. And if you need more food, you can think about food plots. But those forward plots where you just kind of break up the soil work too for the summer.
And then make sure if you're, if you're thick timber like we have in areas, make sure you're burning,
Mhm.
the leaves and all that aren't building up, that aren't allowing growth. My house, for reference, I wish I took a picture of what it looked like when we bought the place and what the back 3 acres look like versus now. Because I went in there and this is nothing but like, I don't know, maybe a foot of leaves I've been just collecting for, I don't know, 5, 6 years. I mean, it was literally like this packed and it was a foot.
Mhm.
I burnt that out. Now I have grass that's back there. It's like 2, 3 foot tall and it looks like super not, probably not in my neighbor's eyes, but my eyes for deer and wildlife, it looks great. But
Mhm.
that's something that a lot of people don't focus on because a lot of times those fire when you're burning at certain times of year, that fire doesn't really go through the trees and burn that, or under the trees and burn all the leaves in the underbrush there. So making sure you key in the points. OSU has great research on that, and then I'm sure there's other places, but most of the time I look at MSU or OSU. I mean, they have great research on burning. So um, check that out. I wish I could spell the facts, but I'm not very good at knowing all the names of the stuff. I just know what I do, and I'm trying to learn more about it. So, um, Zach, I'm going to go back to your question. I kind of ignored it. If you could go back, would you apply for more tags or buy land in Oklahoma? That's a tough one. That's a tough one because for us, because we've been very blessed with quite a bit of land here. Um,
I think if I didn't have any land, probably try to find a piece.
Jacob got to
Um,
calm down on Instagram, or Jake.
yeah.
But man, I don't know. That's a weird question. I told you earlier I use those hunts to break away from what I do in Oklahoma. In Oklahoma, a lot of time I'm focused on mature deer, and that's what I kind of thrive on and just get ate up with is trying to hunt that 5.5, 6.5 year old deer, and hopefully I can bump that up to like 6.5 to 7.5. But I'm not there yet. But um, being able to hunt those deer here and how hard I hunt here, to go out of state gives me, just like Kansas, 13 days to hunt public land, get to focus on that, get to hang out with the boys. That's something we don't do here is we don't get to hang out a lot, like in the evenings we do or on the weekends. But when you're in a trip like that, you have 5 or 6 days with your closest friends. You don't have to worry about chasing that big deer. You don't have to worry about, what I mean? If you don't like something or you bugger something up, go find another piece. Well, if you have land, it's like you got to be more cautious. So I don't know. That's a tough question. I definitely would probably go buy more land.
You went all the way over here and you came back and you're like, I'll buy more land.
I know, but it's like those hunts are fun, but also if I'm buying more land, it's because I can afford it. So if I'm buying 1,000 acres, I can afford to go to Kansas. You know what I mean? The next year and
Yeah.
hunt for the price there. So, because what we spend on land versus tags are nowhere comparable. So, I don't know. That's a tough one. I'd have to say buy more land, but I also really enjoy my out of state hunts.
I think especially if we didn't have land, we would say buy more land for sure. Like I
Yeah.
don't think it would be a big a question, but we do have land. I don't know.
Well, if you look at it this way, if you ask me like this, would you give up all your land to be able to go on more draw hunts, or take more land and not get drawn for other hunts? If I had that, I'd probably take more land if I got to pick it versus give it all up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I got a squeaky toy somewhere around me.
I thought you were saying, oh my gosh, because Jake from State Farm.
Yeah, well,
kept
Jake
calling
said
me.
corn feeders are a good way to grow big deer. That's funny. Zach asked, is there a plant app to identify what is what in the woods? Gunner is a human app, but just curious. I'm looking for a specific oak. Yeah, there's
Yes.
apps. I don't
Seek
know.
one.
What?
Seek one.
Seek One has one?
Well, it's called. I call it. It's Seek. It's called Seek, but I call it Seek one. It's a leaf. Like the thing is a leaf. See that? That right there
Yeah.
is very good for forbs and trees. It's iffy on grasses. You're just gonna have to learn your grasses. But your forbs, like flowers and your trees and stuff, and like distinguishable species, like lead plant or prairie clovers or blackjack oak versus an elm, it's very good with that. It'll get you pretty close. So that's a good one. That's the one I use in the field because I have to identify stuff to people all the time, and sometimes I don't know what it is. So
Yeah. Gunner was smart and took what was it, range biology? Is that your degree?
rangeland ecology.
Biology. There it is. Biology's not even. Anyways, I knew what it was, but he used his degree to go learn more stuff about the stuff. Me, I can tell you oak trees. I can tell you most native grasses in my area, but after that, I'm like, yeah, Gunner, what's this? So, but yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna have to download that app. If you guys this will be um, also re-uploaded for the Thursday podcast. Jacob said, Gunner, can you put a slideshow together for this for all the leaves? But or Jake, I don't know why I keep saying Jacob. You need to change your name on Instagram, Jake. But I'll post the link for that app below for anyone with an Apple. If you're with Android, sorry, you have to find it. So I'll put that in below for anyone listening or wants to re-listen.
Sponsor a Seek. Okay.
Yeah. I was trying to look. If there's any other questions I missed. When are you planning to start putting all your cameras up?
Probably when probably September.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some guys that have them up now and they love to watch them grow and see what they've got.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun. I get too excited. 1, 2. I could put them on travel corridors and stuff, but I also don't want to spend money on, corn and stuff right now. Honestly,
Yeah.
being honest,
Yeah.
I could put them up on trails and catch them, but Danker's got a mountain of corn out there right now, and he's getting pictures. He does. He sent it. He posted it like yesterday. He's like, "Which one?" I'm like, "I don't know. Maybe Jeff Danker."
Oh,
He said, "Which one?" And I was like,
"Oh yeah, I saw that."
I was like, "Holy cow, that's Mount Cornus back there."
Yeah. No, I'm gonna put my stuff out. I've had the worst heartbreaks from putting them out early. Watch them grow. I get absolutely giant, and then talking about the double drop tine deer by himself, leaves the day before season, never see him again. Was there every day, and it's like, so I don't go through that. My theory is if they're on me now, they'll be on me in September, and I'll know they're there then. But most of my deer don't show up that I usually harvest. Don't show up till like that October 15th mark, really.
Well,
So
I might start early, so I'll definitely I'll put a few up this year at that new place we have had last 2 years.
yeah,
There's a deer out there I'm gonna try to get Abby on early, that she's got history with, and he's finally to that age, so it's
yeah,
time to get after him. I saw him last year, late season, and he was legit last year. So hoping he shows back up and he's just as legit, and we'll try to get after him because he didn't really show up until I harvested my deer back behind me. He wasn't. He
yeah.
kind of disappeared
Maybe that
for
deer was
last
beating
year.
him up.
It's kind of a theory I have because literally 3 days after I shot that deer, he started showing up.
Well, I was like,
So
with me, I watched that deer I shot last year how many times fight off other bucks, or
mhm,
hurt them. Watch them run in the
mhm,
timber and then get in a fight, and then the other one come running out, beat up or
yeah,
panting.
mhm,
And it's like as soon as I shot him and he disappeared, which I hope he disappeared to wherever he summers and then comes back. But if he didn't, whatever happened, 3 days afterwards, I had two deer I was sending you, and I was like, "What in the world? What are these things? Where'd they come from?" And it's
yeah,
like at that point we should have known all of our deer pretty much for the year. And me and you were like, "What in the world?" And how, and then you're like, "Well, are they old enough? They're definitely 4.5. Like, are they that 5.5 yet?" So like breaking down new deer and
mhm,
rut, almost
mhm.
impossible to get the exact age if you don't have any history with them. But yeah, no, that's I hope he shows up, man. I can't say that enough. That would be I have so much cool footage. So speaking of that, usually the off weeks, I guess we've been doing a podcast every week, so I shouldn't say that. So Thursdays we've been posting our podcast. I forgot we kind of changed our schedule, and then Fridays I've been posting videos. So last week's video, um, it was pretty late when I made it, and I misspelled a word, so I had to take it down and fix it. So that's on me. I probably should review it a couple more times before I post it, but um, and then I just noticed that podcast Dallas Berg, some of the audio is echoing. Someone also was very generous and commented on it. I don't know if you saw it before I deleted it, but
No, I did not see it.
yeah, they were very helpful. But
Were they mean about it? Were they mean
yeah,
as?
because I echoed, but it's because it's through the phone, and the phone and the system and the softwares are used always make an echo. So I didn't recognize it while I was doing it, but when I put it out there, I was like, man. But yeah. Anyways, so sorry if that really upset you that it echoed a little bit. But I'm glad Dallas talked most of the time and you didn't have to hear me echo.
Well, if people are hating, we're growing, right?
Yeah. No, it was pretty funny. He was
It's,
very mad.
you should say thanks for the engagement, bud.
He's, yeah, he was pretty upset, man. I was like, dude, over that. So he said he would never watch another one of our videos because he can't even understand what I'm saying and blah blah blah. And I was like, even cussing at us on it. And I was like, dude, I don't even know you. I'm sorry. Here's my address if you want to send me new equipment.
Yeah.
Just kidding. But I'm trying to figure, I kind of wrote down what we want to go over. Kind of touch based on what we kind of like to hunt. Favorite time to hunt. I mean, I guess we can talk about that. Our favorite time to hunt. My favorite time to hunt is that period of right before rut when they're getting on their feet and they're making their first mistakes in daylight. That's usually, if I don't capitalize then and have one down, it seems like I don't have one. Or between then and rut, I won't have one down for the year. But it's always, like I said, that October 15th to like right at the beginning of muzzleloader, and then that 2 weeks between muzzleloader and rifle. Those usually seem like the weeks that I can get it done or see the big one that I need to be after. So that's probably my favorite time to hunt. They're not full blown rut, but the bucks are getting dumb and showing themselves in the daylight more often.
Yeah. Probably my favorite time to hunt is Well, muzzleloader's the start of it that time of year, like you kind of said. That's why I like muzzleloader season so much, is because it seems like it's cooling down and that it's time.
Yeah.
Probably though my favorite all-time time to hunt is probably after muzzleloader and in between that muzzleloader and rifle season. I love hunting then. Just one, because muzzleloaders are put down and it's we're still bow hunting.
Yeah.
And it seems like you're almost at there's almost an added pressure because you're like got rifles right around the corner. Like
Yeah.
Let's get him down. Let's try to get him down before
everyone
which
in the world is out there.
Yeah, which I rifle hunt, but there's people that think the only deer season we have is a 2-week rifle season. So, and they'll be all out hunting, which is great hunt, but I'm trying to get my deer down before you get out.
Kind of being stingy. I want mine down, and then you guys can have like the number 2 and 3 hit listers. Like that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just rival seasons. It's unreal. Some weekends, 10 minutes before legal bike hits, and it's like, I'm like, man, are we getting taken over right now, or is it rifle? You know what I mean? Like the shots in some years, it's like 2 shots all day, and I'm like,
And the hunting is seems like to me the hunting is like really good at times, and sometimes it's like, holy cow, it's slow. It really depends what kind of year you're having. I've had last couple years, I've had pretty good rifle season movement. But there's some years like Kansas has it set up. It's late. So there's some years you get in, start rifle hunting, and they're done. They're tired and they're laid up. Especially end of rifle. So
which can be beneficial in a way, but especially for a bow hunter. But if you a rifle too, if you find them and they're in the area. But no, I don't know. My wife's birthday is October 17th, and I swear almost every year I get like a big deer when we're out celebrating. So
on the cell cam, right where you would have hunted that night.
Yeah. It's happened 2 years in a row.
Honey, we can go after the sun goes down.
You have a birthday every year. I don't get to target this buck every year.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm kidding. But she also commented and said, "Don't lie. Your guys' favorite time to hunt is anytime." Well, yeah, we have favorite time to hunt, but we're not gonna discriminate on late season or early season either.
About the only time it sucks, which it doesn't really suck, but like if there was a little bit of time where it would suck a little bit, January can, because it's really, really cold. But I like hunting late season just because I'm still hunting. Anyway, probably my least favorite time of year to hunt is when it's still 90 degrees and the mosquitoes are out. That kind of sucks.
Yeah. That was like Kansas last year.
Yeah. But I still do it because I love it.
Yeah. It's worth it.
Yeah.
So, well, I think we kind of covered everything. We've answered all the questions that I see. So I think we're going to end it here. Thank you guys for tuning in. We've had a lot of comments come through. So this will actually be reposted Thursday for episode 49. We're going to try to figure out something to do for episode 50. I don't know. I can't read that comment, Jake. I don't know what it's going to be, but we're going to try to plan something for our 50th. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. We've noticed our watch hours have really increased since we've got some of these other people on. So thank you guys for that. Thank you guys for everything. We're 1 day closer, 1 second closer to deer season. So you guys better get after it, get ready, and start hunting. So we'll see you guys.